I look better in this video. My hair looks better. Look a little thin. Maybe I got a little sun. We went to Mexico. Anyway. Hey everybody, I'm back making a hastily cobbled together YouTube video. I'm going to do some more work on that pickup I started last time because I have sold it to somebody, so I should probably get it done. Anyway, I'm here in the Tone Dungeon. I have been thinking about this pickup a lot. Here are the dogs. We got 2 new Chihuahuas. We're almost up to a baker's dozen. There's Bandit. Hi, Bandit. Hi, baby. Anyway, what are we doing here? What are we doing? All right, we need to we need to do a coil for this guy, but we need to pick out a magnet. I think this was the magnet that was actually in it. It was very narrow though, or the string spacing would have been very, very narrow. And the pickup's big enough, so yeah, see, this is 1.935. Typical neck spacing is 1. On modern guitars, typical neck spacing is 50 millimeter, which is 1.9685. So approximately 1 and 15/16, which is 1.9375. That's for the string spacing, and it would be preferable to have the magnet a little bit wider than that. But I want a similar magnet. So I have, let's see if we can get, shit. Where's the lighting? Where's the guy who does the lighting? Where's the guy that does the lighting? He's fired. He's fired. Where's my little flashlight? Can I turn the light on this thing? No. Oh, here's the flashlight. All right, so here's all here's all the ceramic, the old vintage ceramic magnets that I've hoarded over the years. I bring dates down here, show them my collection. Not really. I don't have dates. I'm married. Happily, love you. Anyway, all right, so I'm just going to try to get one that's similar. All right, so that's a big one. That's an interesting one. I think I just got this the other day. I got it because it looked like a... All right, so this is like a correct Tesco ceramic magnet. Probably won't use that one for this project, but I bought this one, and it's very similar. It's actually a little bit bigger. Let's see how wide it is. It's a little bit wider. I would like this magnet to be like 2 1/8. This is 2.20, and this is definitely, it's really odd. It's like exactly like a gold. It's just a little bigger. Anyway, all right. So this is the winner. This is the one I'm going to use. Just because it's interesting to use it. If you're into guitars and you're into guitar pickups, you're probably familiar with that there are, Alnico 5, Alnico 2. It's actually Alnico 2, 3. There's actually all of them. The 4 or 5 that we're probably most familiar with as guitar players is 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 8. Technically, there's all of them. Technically, there's several versions of each grade. Not several, but I think Alnico, I know there's maybe like 2 versions of each. I can't remember the distinction, but and there's also, like, you may have heard, there's Alnico 5 oriented and unoriented, and then there's centered, and then there's cast. Anyway, we don't care about any of that today because we're doing, this is a ceramic magnet, and we're going to use an old original ceramic magnet. They also have grades too. Like the most common grade in like a modern like heavy metal pickup would be ceramic 8. And this magnet is probably, you can't always tell by the looks of them, judging from the size, and then it's hard to tell. I don't know, man. It may be ceramic 1 or 5. I don't think it's ceramic 8. It's it's pretty strong, but I feel like it's up to 50. I don't even know what units this thing is in. I feel so stupid. 50 gauze, but I don't know what the units are. Anyway, if this was like ceramic 8, it would be like pegging the scale. And this is kind of like actually stopping right before 50. So, that being said, this could be ceramic 1. I don't know. There's also, with ceramic magnets, there's isotropic and anisotropic. And that has to do with how, basically I think it's, mechanically it has to do with whether it's magnetized while prior to being cast or after it's being cast. Because if it's magnetized after it's cast, then like the molecules or whatever, they're set. They're set in there because they're in a solid object. But if it's before they're cast and it's magnetized, then everything will line up in the same way, and then it'll set. So, and from what I understand, ceramic 1 is always, I think, isotropic. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember. I've read all this shit 100 times, and I remember a little bit of it each time. So, okay, so this guy's cleaned off. Basically, I am just going to draw up a bobbin in CAD and cut it out of, see, here's this fiberboard material. This is like what we do all of our pickup stuff with, but this is actually this thin 30 thousandths stuff. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'll actually cut this and make a bobbin just like this. So let's do that. All right, we are sped up 400% so that this isn't unbearably boring, and it's probably still going to be boring, but here's the play-by-play. I am drawing the CAD stuff for this pickup. There's a rectangle. I think that's the cover. That's the cover. So I know I know how much real estate I got. I think this is going to be the that's the base plate. And then at this point, I put them over top of each other, and I'm like, that's not right. That's not right. And then I don't know what to do, and I'm questioning myself and my intelligence. So I just delete everything,
or I guess I drew the plate, and I know it's right. And then I draw it again, and it's exactly the same. So, uh, anyway. Okay, so that's what the plate and the cover, that's what the plate sitting inside of the cover there. And then I measured the magnet, and I drew it. Okay, so that's the magnet. Just measure everything with my right micrometers. And okay, so then I am drawing where the screws are going to go in the plate, and I got them all figured out. I thought about trying to do a split screen with this, but that was a really dumb idea, and so I didn't do it. But I'm glad I told you about it. Okay, so I got the holes in the plate there. I'm putting that's where the magnet's gonna go. So that's what it's gonna look like. That's what the magnet's gonna look like. I haven't done the bobbin yet. I think at this point I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. What's the most clever, needlessly clever thing I can do? And I just end up offsetting it, which is what I did. It's perfectly smart. So I don't need any of that other stuff. And then I offset the magnet, I think 5/1000ths all the way around, so that I had a little extra space. So saving that, and bringing it. Oh yeah. Oh, there's Marshall. Oh, baby Marshall. Bringing it into Corel Draw, getting it ready to go to do the two operations, the engraving and then the cutting. So there you go.
All right, I'm going to regular cameraman here. All right, we got the 60 thousandths fiberboard in there. This chunk is white. Maybe I shouldn't use this. I don't remember. Shit. Maybe I should use the black because I just ordered some more black, but there's a big piece of white. I don't care. It's already in there. I've got it in the right spot. So first we're going to engrave so that there's a little, spot for the magnet. So the magnet will be in the right spot, and I can, put a big bunch of super glue in there, and we'll get it fixed right up. Zip, 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 zip. Oh, I'm excited to be doing this full time. So far, so good. I'm rich. I've been doing this for the past month, and I'm already rich. So, suck on this, fools. Not really. But January was great. I'm really grateful to everybody, all the support. Mainly people that bought pickups. A lot of people voiced support. I'm not as grateful for that, for the voice support as opposed to the financial support. I kid. But seriously, buy a set of pickups. Anyway. Alright. We're doing both bobbins at once. Or both the top and the bottom at once. I usually have to let the laser cutter kind of rest for a second after engraving something because it's working its tail end off there. But this stuff is so thin. Now I gotta do this one-handed. Oh, my good old Corel Draw from my friends in the Huangdong province in China. Sure, it's fully licensed. No problems here. No complaints here. Alright, this stuff's so thin, I should be able to cut it. No problem. That should be just fine. Plenty of room in this guy. Pretty big magnet. I'm going to use 60 or 43 gauge wire. Good thing too, because I just ran out of 44. So we are going to kind of wait as long as we can to before I order some more stuff. Alright, I gotta switch to the tripod thingy. Alright, I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on because I still had the camera facing the other way. Once again, Gemini pickup stuff, episode 3, can't remember what episode we're up to, brought to you by the Johnson Family Company. Products to live your life. The Johnson Company. We only make stuff that's the color blue. The Johnson Company. We are Zionist lizard people. Buy our product. Zionist lizard people. Shit gets so bad that people, grown people, who apparently have tied their own shoes, if you look at them, shit gets so bad that grown people who have tied their own shoes believes that the only way that it could be like this is if the lizard people are making it so. Anyway, alright, so might let these dry a little bit, but as you can see, or actually you can't see shit. There we go, there it is. So it's cut out and I've engraved the spot where the magnet's going to go. That just is going to hold it in place for me while I glue it. And I also think that it gives it a little, you know, there's a little lip there, a little bit more gluing area. I don't know. Okay, so here's our magnet. And like we did, this magnet's a little, you know, they would cast these, and some of them you could see how they would cast them in a big tray and then break them off. You know, they'd cast these, and maybe when they kind of popped this out of the mold or whatever, it was still warm or whatever, but it's hard to see it on here. But this thing is bent. But it's not, it's going to be fine. Let's just make sure that I got this. Yeah, that's going to be good. Alright, did we get this cleaned off? Oh, the other thing is, so, it's not that it's twisted. Is it twisted? No, it's bent. It's both in the same direction. Alright, so the other thing about the ceramic magnets, at one point I was a big enough idiot, asshole. I was a younger man. I said something on Instagram about, I'll just come out and say this, like, you know, when Lawler first came out with his, because I'd been into gold foils, you know, not like selling them or even making them. I was just infatuated with them. And then, you know, Lawler came out with his gold foils, and on the website and kind of everywhere it was like rubberized ceramic magnets, rubberized ceramic magnets. It's like refrigerator magnets. And I was like, these aren't rubber. I know what rubber is. These are not rubber. These are not made of rubber. And then I think, like, I can't remember what it, maybe it was Novak. He said something on his website. It was like, no cheap, these are my pickups are nice. I don't use cheap refrigerator magnets. Which is, you know, something a person could say if they wanted to. And I was like, these aren't, and there was like video, people were posting on Instagram with their big, like, I can't remember who it was. Maybe I can't remember who it was, but they had bought, a sheet of this stuff, like a 3 foot by 3 foot sheet of 1/4 inch thick refrigerator magnet, and it's ferrite particles in a rubber suspension is basically what it is. And I was like, so rubberized ferrite magnet doesn't necessarily mean that it's floppy like rubber. And I found this out because these ceramic magnets, it refers to probably like 100 different, different kinds of magnet or whatever. But like I had some, I don't know, there was some tape or some paint or something that I was having a hard time getting off. So I chunked it into like some lacquer thinner and came back an hour later and it was like just goop at the bottom of my jar. So yeah, a lot of these are rubberized ceramic magnets. I've seen, like especially with the Diarmands, it's almost like you can kind of pick chunks off with your fingernail on some of them. Some of them, like if you warm them up, you can bend them. Some of them are just like modern ceramic magnets where they're like indestructible, and so I try not to say things that make me sound like an asshole now. That's certainly a new development in my life. So, and also, if you don't say a bunch of shit that you don't know anything about, you won't have to hear about it later. So, anything I say, let me add the caveat that I don't know anything at all. Hold on, baby. We'll go outside. Give me 2 seconds. Let me finish doing... Daddy needs to finish his video. I'm doing my YouTubes. Man, you can't be shy with the super glue, man, because nothing sucks more than winding one of these things and getting... And then the wire pops it, the weight or the force of the wire on there pops it right off. Nobody likes that when that happens. What's this guy talking about? If you need any nasty... Somebody messaged me on... I think it was my buddy Milkhouse Guitars over in the other side, all the way on the other side of, I don't know exactly where he is. I think he's over there in western New York. I'm over here in eastern New York. On the beautiful in Newburgh, New York. The jewel of the Hudson. Still telling me something. I'll have to see what he's talking about. Alright, so this guy is glued up. He's clamped up. That needs to cure fully, which probably means not necessarily overnight, but it needs to sit for long enough to where I will not be able to work on it anymore tonight. What's he say? Oh geez, he's talking about chemicals and cleaning stuff. I don't know what he's talking about though. I don't know. I think he may be talking about that crusty pickup I put on Instagram earlier, but it's supposed to be crusty. I cleaned it with a moist rag. These pickups turned out great.